Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Movie Screeners Club podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Falk. The Movie Screeners Club is brought to you by Designing Hollywood Productions in association with Gardena Cinema. If you want to win the chance to have your short film screened in a huge cinema and the opportunity to be interviewed on our podcast, please submit your short film today to moviescreenersclub@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'm Kelly Luu. I'm co-writer and co-director.
And I'm Kevin Luu, and I'm co-writer, co-director of Technicians.
Yeah, so our short film Technicians is it takes place in a not too distant future, and it follows an automation technician who on this day he is installing self-service manicure stations at a local nail salon, and he is confronted by a nail technician whose job he's essentially there to replace.
Very timely.
Yeah, and we had no idea as we were writing it like that it was going to be so timely. So yeah.
When did you guys write it?
We wrote it. So at the time we wrote it for the oh my gosh, the Hillman Grad, which is like Lena Waithe's company, the Hillman Grad and Indeed Rising Voices program, and that was last year. But early on, all the little things you'll see in the film, like the AI representative and him saying like, oh, I just, can I talk to human representative, and like no human representatives available. That line we came up with, like, we were like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? Like, I feel like that's what we're heading towards. And then no joke, a month ago, I saw a TikTok video where this guy's like yelling at a person or an AI on his phone. And he's like, speak to human representative. And they're like, one is not available. And I sent it to Kevin. I was like, what did we do? Did we put this out there in the world? And now they, but we wrote about it about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you guys have like some crystal ball.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're putting psychics out of business with your crystal ball.
I wish we didn't. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, I think that's the interesting part about this journey was when we first thought up of the idea, we were coming at it from so many different angles. And we wanted to tell a story that took place in not too distant future. And part of the program was a prompt. And the prompt was, what is the future of work to you? So, initially we were like, we don't want to do something that's too far into the future and not something that's too heavy sci-fi. And I remember Kelly brought it up. We were talking about like automation, replacing jobs and all. And Kelly was like, oh, I wonder like who would want to do a job like that? It's just so like, it kind of you're kind of like working for Skynet kind of thing, it's just like, yeah. And then we're like, probably someone who's really struggling, and they just don't even think about that stuff because it's kind of like they have their own stuff. I almost swore there, but their own stuff to take care of. And that really enticed us, and that was like something that we wanted to highlight. Like maybe in a world where jobs are so hard to come by, like the only jobs you can have are jobs that replace other jobs, which would be really like
replace humans.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a ticking clock all the way to, until he runs right into the person that he's essentially replacing.
It's like you guys do a good job with like the battle of the struggles and all that, which you can definitely see from both sides. The whole vibe really felt like a Black Mirror type of episode. Yeah, that's kind of like
that.
Yeah, for sure. So I was wondering, like, when you guys were writing it, like, do you guys like, was that kind of the vibe you were going for, or like, what was kind of like?
Kevin and I, we really write with this theme of humanity first. We always, in any genre and any space that we write in, we always try to make it feel grounded. We want it to feel like something that any person can kind of go through, even if it's a little bit sci-fi. And I think naturally it just kind of ended up blending into this space of Black Mirror, because that's like Black Mirror's entire identity is this grounded sci-fi that could happen like tomorrow or something. So I think with, like Kevin said, when we were thinking of the idea, we didn't want to go too far in the future to a point where you can't relate to it. And we just felt like for a short film especially, you only have a finite amount of time to really get your audience to feel like, oh, I know how this person feels, and I know what they're going through. And I think that was kind of our goal, was to make sure people felt something. So we knew right away, I was like, we cannot go as far as, using Skynet as the example. We can't go Terminator with this thing. We got to go. I think we lean closer to a Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind type of feel, like something where it feels like it's going to happen. If it does, it'll be like it won't be the sleekest looking thing in the world. It'll just be like a little box that, looks like something that you could buy tomorrow.
Yeah. No, which is it's all believable. No, for sure. And that's why I like about it is like that is happening right now. So like it's very just relatable and like that's always going to be relatable, taking jobs and doing that. That's cool. With the box though. So like yeah, how'd you guys it looks legit. Like everything looks so sick. How'd you guys make the machine, bro?
Kelly
Like
and I
I'll let
early
Kevin.
on.
I'll let Kevin take this one because I give Kevin all the credit. He's the one who did all the research
Oh
for it.
no. I mean, I was just gonna say early on, it was so funny. We were like, man, what if we actually like, somehow crack the code and actually make this box and it's real and it works? Like, oh my God, that'd be such a cool
change
movie. But
cosmetics forever, low key.
yeah, we just step out of filmmaking and go into cosmetics or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think it was really practical. It was very important for us to make this feel like it can exist, and I know there's like without spoiling anything, there's this like sort of magical element to it that occurs, that we sort of took some inspiration from Back to the Future Part 2 specifically, some of their futuristic elements, but in making this machine, we wanted it to feel, like Kelly has said, like just grounded. And we started with some prototypes that were based on printers, like laser printers, and we just figured this thing has like the nail polish is like inkjet kind of thing, and that's how it sort of prints out the ink on it, which is similar to what there are real machines today that sort of do this. They're much more compact and they don't do full manicures; they just do paints. And you can find them at like I don't know random Targets or whatnot. It's just this big giant machine you stick your hand in. I know it's bizarre.
I did a lot of research.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were like taking some inspiration from that, and then I think we realized like a laser printer might be too small, and we wanted the screen aspect just because I feel like we felt like naturally in the future most technology is going to be run with screens and whatnot. And I think it was Kelly who found the box that we ended up using, which is actually a what was it kind of like a casing?
It's a computer modem. Like it's just a big old computer modem. And to touch on what Kevin was saying a little more, as we felt like it should be bigger, the big reason why was we were saying this should replace a person. Like it should feel like a person should be here, not a machine. And if it was too small, you won't get that visual. And yeah, so after we found the bosses, Kevin did the first couple of prototypes. His apartment was filled with these machines, and he'd call me up at like I don't know 2 a.m. or send me text messages, images. He said, "What do you think? How do you think this looks?" And we were fortunate enough. Eventually, we brought on our amazing production designer, Hanri, who just finished doing production design, or not just finished, but she did the production design for Didi. So her thing, we always felt like with her stuff was she just had. She was able to touch on the nuances and the little textures that really bring things to life. Like it brings a room to life. As you can see in the opening of our film, when we're with our main character in his bedroom, all that stuff, like you really felt like someone lived there. And when she saw our prototype, she immediately was like, "You need this, and pointed at all these. She's like, "This texture is wrong. You need this thing." And like, we eventually found ourselves. We had a good foundation, and she kind of took it and ran with it.
So have you guys kind of focusing on production now? Like, have you guys co-directed before?
Oh yeah, so Kelly and I are twins, and we've worked together our entire lives, and I just think it was a natural bond. Which is
Kevin, when you said when we worked together our entire life, I just picture us as babies, like trying to escape the crib, and it was like
in our imaginary kitchen working together. You're like,
Gonna pay the rent.
Building manicure sets out of Legos.
Exactly.
No, so because of that, we have several shared experiences growing up, just as we love film, we love TV, we grew up watching the same stuff. And I think that sort of just bonded us as storytellers. Now that, obviously we've gotten so much older since we started watching TV and movies that we've developed our own perspectives on things. But yeah, we've been directing ever since I can remember. And so this has been our probably like what, Kelly, like I don't remember, like maybe like 15th project. Oh, no,
we have
counting all the random stuff that no one would ever see ever see it, from school and all. So yeah, we've been working together ever since the beginning.
Do you kind of have it down to a science now? Do you split it like, write down? Are you both doing kind of every role together all the time, or do you kind of split up?
You know,
And
I wish we had more of a system. I really think it's a project by project basis. I really do. I feel like each project comes with its own challenges. And Kevin and I, each project we've done, we've taken away things from it that we feel like we've each become stronger at. Like I commend Kevin as being better in the edit room than I am, like seeing things a little differently than I do. So like, yeah, we're on the set, and sometimes if one of us feels more connected with what's happening with the scene, we don't want to overcomplicate things. We'll just say it. We'll just say like Kevin will. I've gone up to Kevin during this short specifically in the kitchen scene at the top with the mom, and I looked at Kevin. I was like, man, I do not feel like this. I don't know what we're trying to really grab here. And Kevin was like, oh, I got you. And that was it. That was it. And it was fantastic kind of having someone like that to lean on. But yeah, I wish we had a better system where it was like, you do this, you do that. It's more like as we're going through this film together, as we're going through the script together, we just naturally find things that we feel more connected to, and then one of us just kind of takes the lead on it. But for the most part, we're there like hand in hand, not literally holding hands, but
We're not holding hands on set.
arm in arm.
we haven't held hands since we were 5 years old. Okay, you know.
For the record.
Set the
For
record.
the record.
For the record. So with you guys being, of course, I mean, it looks like you guys, obviously really care about this stuff. When it comes to casting and all that, like you guys made a good script, how finding the actors were really great. And
Thank
they really, I feel like, made your vision to life. So
Yeah.
how was it finding them? How'd you find them?
So yeah, we talk about Jay Alphonse and specifically just our leads, Jay Alphonse and Kathy Bowie as the heart and soul of our production, as the heart and soul of our story, 100%. With Jay Alphonse, we actually wrote with him in mind because we were starting early in the process when we were starting this project. We kind of knew we had the Vietnamese community, but then we want this perspective to be someone from outside of our community. We felt like it was important that they didn't really know much about it and grow up around it. So when they're coming in, to them, it's just another job. That was the whole feeling, that whole conversation that he has later. And yeah, we were fortunate enough to talk to a friend who is an amazing director himself, Joel Taylor, and we were talking about like this character and who we're looking for and the type of actor we're looking for and the type of emotion we're trying to achieve. And he immediately was like, I got the perfect guy for you. And he said, like, he's like, when you're done with the script, just send it to me and I'll forward it over to Jay Alphonse. And we said, okay. And he said, Jay Alphonse got to like it. He said, Alphonse got to like it. I can't guarantee. We said, sure.
Right.
And so, the months leading up to that moment, we left that kind of hanging there for a good 2-3 months as we refined the script. And then we felt like it was good enough. We sent it. And Joel sent us back an email from Alphonse, and he basically is like, I love this script. He said, I want to meet these boys. And in our first Zoom call, it was amazing. Actually, there's a scene, without going into too much spoiler territory, but there's like a kind of a stunt area scene of the script that Alphonse himself kind of talked to us about. And he's like, oh, I just imagined it. I could see that moment have something like this. And Kevin were like, that's a great idea. And we
throw it in, dude. Yeah, sick.
That's the best part about working with such like incredible actors such as Jay Alphonse, Nicholson, and Kathy, because they just bring so much to the table, and they really make our job so much easier. I remember even from a script stage when we had Jay Alphonse in mind, we would write lines and I would look at Kelly. I'm like, Kelly and I, we read the script to each other, so we'll play as the characters. I'm like, that didn't feel right. And I remember there would be a line that I would say like, oh, but Jay Alphonse could kill that line though. He can do that. So we can't do that, but Jay Alphonse can. So we're gonna keep it. So it was very like freeing in that sense when we knew we had someone in mind to write for.
Yeah, and the same thing with Kathy. Like we worked with an amazing casting director, and he was able to get our stuff. We were kind of worried, to be honest. As far as Asian representation in Hollywood, Vietnamese is just one of those ethnicities that don't get as much, I would say, face time as most. And so yeah, we were a little worried that we weren't going to get a lot of potential actors, I guess, for the role, but we were very fortunate. We had a great casting director, and we end up seeing, I don't know, Kevin, how many, but so many amazing Vietnamese actors. And Kathy, we have kept tabs on her before because we've heard of her through other projects. And yeah, she showed up, and gosh, she just absolutely, I mean, she did amazing. Like we kind of found the character of Tippy with her as we were going through these auditions, and we came to her and we asked her to do a second kind of self-taping type of thing, and she said, guys, I got you. And then she took one note, delivered the tape, and we're like, that's it, that's her. So yeah, and then just getting these two in the room, that was the best part. It was the wardrobe fitting was the first time they met, and they did that one scene, that the big scene, without going to spoilers again, together. They did that one scene together, and Kevin and I were like, this is it. Like
Yeah, we felt like we were in
yeah.
good hands. Even on set, I mean, inevitably there were obstacles and challenges that were popping up.
Yeah.
And I remember I looked at Kelly and I was like, dude, we just gotta lean on Kathy and Jay Alphonse. We just gotta we can shoot this whole thing in a wide with them too, and we're gonna be
Yeah.
fine. You know, of course that's not ideal, but that's how confident we were in them.
It's nice to have that security when it's like, oh, these guys are good at what they do. Thank God. They
Yeah.
make us look good too. All right, sick.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody, forgetting their lines. That's always
Yeah.
nice. And they
Yeah, and
care.
then
When they
It's-
care about the project just as much as you do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's so much more, So my wife is a film and TV editor. Her name's Lindsay Armstrong. She actually edited the film. And she, just seeing it through her experiences, there's so much that an actor has to they have to not only be natural, I know, I'm sure everyone here knows, but it's just like it's pretty amazing to be reminded that they have to work, they have to be natural on camera, but they have to hit every cue, every mark,
Yeah.
and they have to do it several times. So continuity is so important and all that. And gosh, like just Kathy and Jay Alphonse, like they were just hitting every mark, every time, every take. Like it was just nonstop.
Amazing.
It's like this hand goes here, picks up this cup at this time, and it was pretty remarkable. So,
Yeah.
we had to every so often we jump in and give a note here, and it was all just like dialing it in. Just every take just got better and better. So it was a
Yeah.
great like luxury to have.
Yeah.
Big time. What were some of the mishaps on set?
Oh God. Let me think here. I mean, I'm like, you're making me relive.
Yeah, relive it, Kevin.
The
No,
trauma.
I would say a
break
miss.
down?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did the machines ever break down?
No,
When you
so
needed it?
the machines were fine. I think it was just, one of the biggest challenges of this shoot was really we only had 3 days to film this thing, which
Wow.
I understand that is a luxury in and of itself. But we had so much going on that we only had 2 days in the salon. We had to redress the whole salon on the first day, so it just really ate into the time. Redressing things, of course, things will go wrong there. Before you knew it, you're already a couple hours behind on day one, and a lot of the movie, the most important scenes are in the salon. So now you're not trying to feel rushed, and scenes from day one gets pushed to scenes to day two. We did the whole, the big, I'd say, stunt, without giving it away. We only had 45 minutes to shoot that whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
it was, it shaped the way we ended up visualizing it, because we felt like we can't get too much coverage. Like Kevin said, just stick with our actors. So we stayed with the main character. We stayed with David, played, by Jay Alpha. And so it made us have to make decisions, and at the end of the day, and it being the right decision, I believe. So yeah, I would say like some of the challenges was really just getting everything done in the time constraints that we had with the locations, and then but at the same time, like trying not to let our actors feel rushed or feel that pressure. Whereas Kevin and I are dealing with, oh my God, we're not going to make our day. We're going to have to push a big scene from day one into day two, and then we have to make it sound natural to the actors, like, hey guys, it's actually going to be okay, like, but inside we're panicking and trying to figure out, like, how
But
are
that's
we
part of the job, right? It's
Yeah.
like I really think it's like we have to protect our actors and put them in this bubble so that they can just focus on being present. Like they shouldn't have to worry about tomorrow's scene. It's like, it's just we got to stay present with them. So with a lot of stuff like that, and I'm just even as you're saying it, kind of like, my God, like I really feel like we lucked out. We had a great team of like just pros. I mean, talking about Henry, but just across the board, all of our department heads were really wonderful, really experienced. And so it was never an obstacle that had to deal with like that. It was due to lack of preparation. It was just like day of stuff, like something unpredicted happened. We're like, oh, we couldn't have figured that out. Like just little things like we were like, oh, let's move the tables so that we can set dress. And the tables are like, 50 pounds each.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh my
all
gosh,
the-
how,
all
how
the
did we
manicure
not know
stations
that these tables
were
were so
huge.
heavy? So I was like,
Yeah.
this is gonna take forever. So stuff like that is just then time and everything. So, but even that is like, that's all just part of filmmaking, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
the
I think like one of the best parts about being a filmmaker is that, even though you can point out like, oh, we missed that shot, we missed this coverage, I don't know. Noah doesn't know. The
as the
audience has no
audience,
idea.
yeah, man, it
In
looks
our
like
in
that was
our eyes,
so
it's like
planned.
Yeah.
in our eyes, it's like it's perfect the way that it is. It's just the movie. It's just what it was
Yeah.
always
And
planned
it's
to
just
be.
hard. It's like on
Even
the
if
day we think we're missing something, and I'm like, oh, that shot's gonna, us not getting that, it's gonna hurt us later. And then, we're in post, I'm like, wow, no one even
I mean, I will
slightly-
say we did this monster shot to start the entrance into the nail salon,
Mhm.
and Lindsay, our amazing editor, shows us her editor's cut. She cut the whole thing out. As you guys have seen in the short, like literally he goes from like, he's in the car to ding, and he just
Yeah, to
walks in.
open the door.
Yeah.
There's actually like a whole shot before that where he starts from the outside, walks up to the mirror, walks up down, walks back in,
totally
and like this beautiful
unnecessary.
dolly, and he goes back and forth. And
Runs a marathon.
Lindsay
Yeah.
was just like, I just feel like we're really close on his face in the scene prior, and we just cut to a wide and see what he sees, and we're like, oh my goodness,
That was a
that's
lesson for sure. We're like, it was all shoe leather. At the time, we thought it was so like, what a great way to introduce him to the salon and none of it. We just needed to move faster.
Right.
And
Get him through the door. That's it. Have him through
exactly.
the door. Get him right there.
Yeah.
Where were y'all
Start-
during our shooting? We needed y'all there to be like, just get him inside already.
Yeah, we get it. He opens the door. It's sick.
Why is he still
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah, we literally had him go up, look in the thing, look in the and then like come around and still look
It was
around.
a pretty epic shot.
Yeah.
It
We
was
should
sick.
export it as a behind the scenes shot.
Yeah, the little
Deleted
A
scene
trailer.
or a
It could be a
short
teaser.
film.
Little
yeah.
teaser. Yeah, second.
Director's cut for
It's a
short
feature
film.
film. Just
Yeah.
that one scene.
That door, that dolly door opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
so my last question is, if you could describe technicians in 3 words, what words would you use? Short and sweet.
It's just a conversation. So I would say if I had to sum the
Oh, I
whole
thought those were the 3 words. You
Just,
did
just
that.
a
I use that
conversation.
not that it is, save myself. It's a conversation. Yeah, I always said that film, if I could boil it down to anything, I would say it's just about 2 people talking. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so the 3 words are
it's a conversation.
I think they're asking for like 3 adjectives,
Oh, 3
Whatever
words.
whatever
Okay.
words you want.
No, that was
Could be
solid though. That
We answered
works. That
one
was the
word,
first
it's
time.
a
Verbs.
conversation.
It's a conversation. That
I would
works.
say-
Or just
yeah,
a
that works.
conversation.
Okay, there we go. I'm sticking with it. That's my answer.
Well, okay, let's try the other way though, right? 3
Yeah.
adjectives we can do. I think one would definitely be connection.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Automation's the low-hanging one, but I'll take it. So automation, connection,
I would say culture to kind of
culture.
top
Yeah.
it off. Yeah.
That's great. And conversation.
Let's add a 4th one in there.
Forward.
Let's get in
Forward.
there.
4.
Now we're just breaking all the rules. All right.
Thank you, Kevin and Kelly. Please
Yeah,
come
thank you,
see
guys.
their
Seriously.
film. Please come
Wow.
see their film, Technicians, September 19th at Gardena Cinema. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, it will. Thank you both so much again.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You
We'll see
guys.
you guys.
The Movie Screeners Club is produced by Designing Hollywood Productions in association with Gardena Cinema. If you want to win the chance to have your short film screened in a huge cinema and the opportunity to be interviewed on our podcast, please submit your short film today to moviescreenersclub@gmail.com. This episode was sponsored by Smokebreak Productions, addictively entertaining.